This is KGW News at noon.
Happening now, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler fast-tracking his plans to get the homeless off the streets and into shelters with access to services. He laid out his 5-point plan in an emergency city council session just about an hour ago. Here are the specifics. Building 20,000 affordable housing units by 2033. Work with partners to create work opportunities for the homeless. Create large-scale designated sites that connect people with services. This would eventually lead to a ban on unsanctioned camping. Create a diversion program so people charged with low-level offenses can get those crimes off their record if they agree to treatment. And finally, set city budget priorities and ask for help from the county, metro, state, and federal governments.
Why are we taking the unprecedented step of banning self-sited encampments? We need to move our scattered, vulnerable homeless population closer to the services that they need. Too often, squalid, impacted by crime, and located in dangerous locations, most camps lack even the most basic safety and sanitation. These designated campsites will include access to hygiene, litter collection, meals, and with the county, metro, and state's partnership, will also include navigation to housing, along with critical service like mental health and substance abuse treatment services.
The City Council will have a first reading and take public testimony next week. Wet weather is helping crews fighting the Nakia Creek fire northeast of Camas. It's now 30% contained. That's a new number today. The fire has not grown in size. It's holding steady at just over 1,900 acres. Meanwhile, authorities have lifted all evacuation orders, and deputies are sharing more about the people accused of trying to burglarize those evacuated homes or slip into restricted areas.
Responded to 87 calls. And 48 of those were self-initiated either through traffic stops or for contacting individuals in the area of the fire. And so total of, I think, 3 burglary offenses. So we had 3 total reports of burglaries. The one from yesterday included 2 houses, and then there was one that was made from Monday of the fire as well.
Officials think people setting off fireworks may have started the fire. They're looking for 2 men and 2 women spotted near the light-colored Subaru in this picture. It was taken Sunday, October 9th, the day the fire started. Anyone with information should contact the Clark County Sheriff's Office. Well, the rain could not come at a better time, and Rod, it'll only get heavier throughout the day.
Yes, this is the beginning, remember, of several systems between what's coming in today and another system Tuesday night, Wednesday. So all combined, we should be seeing tremendous progress on the remaining fires burning across our 2 states. You can see the weather system dropping in. We are getting light rain in the Rose City right now. It's actually steady rain from this point, from Portland all the way up through Longview and all the way up into Olympia. Rain moving southward along Tillamook. And it will start in the next hour to drop farther to the south, and that will start to get you folks wet in Salem. Futurecast, look at this. 3 o'clock, 3 hours from now, this is widespread, steady, not only just rain, but some pretty good rain rates. So heavier rain is going to pick up throughout the afternoon hours. That will lead to a very wet commute home for folks this afternoon. By 8 o'clock this evening, this initial batch of rain starts to drop to the south, but there is more coming for the weekend. We're at 54 degrees currently. We basically have steady temperatures all the way into the evening. Been a long time since we've had a day with highs only in the 50s. That's the way it's going to be today. That entire weekend forecast, including snow levels on Mount Hood. That's coming up.
Thank you, Rod. President Biden is in Delaware this afternoon talking about student debt relief, but his schedule is also filled with campaign stops for Democrats locked in very tight races with Republicans. He was just here in Oregon, of course, weighing in on our governor's race, but elsewhere, some candidates are passing on his help. NBC's Drew Petrimo reports.
Making the case for Democrats to keep power in Washington, President Biden hitting the road to tout their accomplishments over the last 2 years.
I signed into law a once-in-a-generation investment in roads, highways, bridges, railroads, ports, airports, and so much more.
Biden in Pennsylvania trying to boost the prospects of John Fetterman in one of the most closely watched Senate races of the cycle. His opponent, Dr. Mehmet Oz, says Democrats are desperate because he's rising in the polls.
It's a panic move because they know they're in trouble, and they're pulling in money from every which way.
Republicans are increasingly bullish on their chances, with voters telling pollsters the economy and inflation are their top concerns.
Joe Biden believes in super-juicing the economy, which causes inflation. We want to restrain the government.
Democrats trying to convince voters they do have a plan to address kitchen table issues, while also painting Republicans as extreme on issues like abortion.
We agree on bringing down costs and bringing down crime. We very much disagree with the MAGA Republicans on who should have the decision over reproductive freedom.
Voters getting chances to size up the competition, with debates being held across the country.
Thanks to Maura Healey's blocking 2 pipelines coming into Massachusetts.
Unlike my opponent, I don't want to give more power and control to big oil and fossil fuels.
The candidates for governor sparred last night in Massachusetts. Oz and Fetterman face off Tuesday. And by that point, early voting will be underway in most of the country. President Biden is keeping a relatively low profile in the final weeks of the campaign. He will have events like the one yesterday where he'll talk about his accomplishments, but not the big boisterous rallies that we saw during the presidencies of Barack Obama and Donald Trump. Drew Petrimo, NBC News, Washington.
Just a couple days ago, KGW and the Oregonian co-hosted a debate between the 3 women running for Oregon governor. If you missed it, we will rebroadcast the entire thing Sunday night at 9. You can also watch the debate on KGW's YouTube channel and on KGW Plus.